The immature wounded masculine. I can start off with that. Because right now I'm talking about something right now because I'm doing this now, but this shit been, a good a good 3 years, 2.5 years. My whole life, really. And I didn't even know, though, to be honest, when it comes to the wounded feminine and the wounded masculine. Then when I think about like my personal life and my awareness, growth, human experiences and journeys and loops and movements and changes and whatever, all of that. Okay, when I think of that, and then when I ground into like what I've been experiencing within myself, and then I think about like the few teachers I've had outside of like real life experiences and avatars and humans and people in my life. But I mean like whether they have created their own systems, divine channeling, and or have teachings and things that they have embodied and then have found me in throughout my life. And I wrote like one of my writings here, so, and it's been with me because it's what I've been moving through specifically the past few months. And I'm just going to read. So before I do that though, like grounding into the fact that I have always been extremely aware, like my awareness levels and just a sensitive intuitiveness is it's on, always been on, to different levels and things. And I've always known a lot of these things, but that's like the mind space of knowing and moving away from that and wanting to ground into what's in the body, because that is like been my main focus. Mind you, I come like my background through life and like the quote unquote career I had or whatever, like was submerged in I worked in the trauma informed spaces, and I was like the advocate, mentor, teacher, and specialist and coordinator. I did those things in those fields for so many different spaces, because it was just, it came easy, it made sense, right? A lot of women do stuff like that, but that being a part of like my own pain body and my own just learning and conditioning and programming too. So then it comes to a point where it's like, because even when I was really, really young, which, sidebar, I'm gonna get into like my Delighted in Darkness series about my own self and things like that. But I've always been obsessed with like the human evolution through pain, because our suffering, which I was creating something the other day, and I'm like, this is like ancient wisdom, this isn't anything new, but it's like the suffering and pain holds the purpose and the opportunity. It's for up to us to figure that out and journey through that. And with that, it's like my just starting here right now. So like now I'm like, okay, I want to read what I wrote. This was like the end of last year. I have, what of the immature wounded masculine is in me? The wounded child, the hiding of what is really felt, being abandoned and afraid, no acceptance, only guilt and shame. That's why you run away into the mind, out through external pride. Somebody hold me and allow safe space. Shouts via reactive anger and rage, because you're afraid, so it's really just sadness. And then I have here like a bunch of little notes, and it says, think about the guys I've attracted or been attracted to, or the masculines in general. It's just an energy, but obviously men, but whatever. Where are my insecurities? How are they manifesting, and why? Why too much mind and intellect focus and stimulation without embodiment living? How do I engage or disengage vulnerability, and with who? When and what do I avoid or escape or run from? Who and why? And then I have here victimhood, unworthiness, abandonment, jealousy, fear, isolation, inverted strength, insecurity, shame, guilt, sadness, rejection, inverted willpower, harshness, forceful, complainer, agitated, immature, childlike. I observe this in the feminine too. It just shows up all differently, it all varies. And then other things came to me about self-sustainability and survival. And I think about how I'm, of all my siblings, the only girl and the youngest child. And I just think about how things I'm moving through within that is interesting to everyone else. And there's like, a reason why I want to explore this more. And yeah, more to come. So what of the immature wounded masculine is in you that needs your love and embrace and release, through the soma?